connect, serve, and grow is what you can expect at the House of Reconciliation. Leadership, community, education, wellness, and participation is part of our plan for your spiritual growth and success. Family and faith is a core value for the House of Reconciliation, working to help people find their purpose. Want to make an impact in the kingdom? Ready to tap into your future? Meet us at the House Sundays with Pastor Reginald Campbell, www.houseofreconciliation.org.
I want to take this opportunity to thank all of you for joining us on this Father's Day and also Juneteenth. We had a little presentation before. We're here at the Greenwood campus, 210 Pansy Road, Hodges, South Carolina. Thank all of you that are in the surrounding areas and to those that are joining us from the Greenville campus as well, and to all of our global connections. We wish you around the world happy Father's Day. Happy fathers that support. Anytime that you're in someone's life and can make a difference, it is an advantage to society as well as it is to that person. So we want to wish all of you a happy Father's Day. And as I was writing down, I didn't know the banks and stuff was closed tomorrow to celebrate Juneteenth. And so I am happy I had a couple of that read. Want to give a couple shout outs to Dr. Nancy Fleming as well as Reverend Curtis Fleming. He contacted me this morning, said he's been in California and also Jersey. So they will be virtual. So we thank God for all them and all their support. And also to our first virtual campus member, which was Brother Ray, who's out of Ohio. Happy Father's Day to you, men, and to all of those that I may have not had a chance to read your text. Thank you for all of your contributions and for the Happy Father's Day to me as well. And so I want to say thank you to all of those that have supported young men and young women in their development. And so this is going to be real brief because I was messing with them off camera that somebody's going to have a chitlin dinner today and some pigfoots, and they're going to enjoy today, especially when you barbecue them and soak them and stuff, and make sure you put them in vinegar. So we're going to talk both naturally and spiritually here briefly to share with you the perspective of being a father. I don't make any excuses. I'm a father myself, and I said a couple things earlier this morning that women have more support than men do. And men generally really have very few mentors. I saw a great gentleman on there, Mr. Wood, who is to me a legend in my mind for the things that he did for his family and the things that he set and principles in his family. And there are many that are good examples, but it's not that many. And so some others pulled some stuff together for me that are not their information, but statistical data. It says fatherhood is a state of being a father. And to be a father is more than being the daddy of a child. A person enters fatherhood when they become a father. Mostly commonly happens when a child is born. It can also happen through adoption or by marrying or becoming a partner of someone. Now, and I always tell people, number one, when I'm on my floor, I'm the pastor, and I was having a conversation with my son. I don't mind sharing stuff with people, but when it said by marrying, so this is going to be a little pointed. As a parent, and sometime as a grandparent, we have to learn there are limitations that we have with that young lady and with that young man. When they join together, they are supposed to be a union. And the decisions that they make should be the decisions that they have come to agreement on. I just told my son, who's 34, I have no voice in your house. You come to me as a resource. You will always be my child. But here's what parents are missing. Sometimes you're looking at your son or daughter and you're not looking at them as a man or a woman or a husband and a wife. And what worked in your household may not, more than likely won't work in theirs. And so you think your son or your daughter has cut you off because they're mad at you. They're not mad at you, but they are supposed to protect their union within their house. And if you're a parent or a grandparent, you need to learn your place. You need to respect your child as an adult. I tell my son, I'm a reference for you now. If you want to ask something, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I'm going to give you the options, and I expect you, who were born with a smart intellect and intelligence, and you should be serving God, that you and your spouse will figure out what's the best thing for your house, because what works in your house don't work in everybody's house. How you run your house don't work in everybody's house. So I have to do that. So you mothers who have sons, and let me just clean up some stuff. You can't pick your son's wife. Look at what you picked. You can't. No. This is real talk for real people who are looking for a real God with real solutions, because I'm dealing with a son who was very honest with me, and I know for myself that your family can hurt people that are important to you in your life. You should never marry nobody that your mama and your dad are going to be happy with, or you going to be happy with them. Should never. Because I've never understood how your son can be sloppy, nasty, buck teeth, and dysfunctional, and then you judging a young lady that has her own home, trying to do good, and you want to go over there and say she ought to do this. Let me say something. A lot of y'all mothers make your son lazy because y'all do everything for him, and you have not taught them how to be a man. Because most of you didn't know how to pick a man for yourself. I don't know how women put down women when a woman generally has more than a man. See, that's the sin in you. You didn't make him pick up at the house. How you gonna pick up at her house? And he ain't even got a house. And my daughter, come on up here. Yeah, this is my daughter. See, we're gonna have real talk. I have two daughters. Love both of them. Love both of them. I told my daughter, don't you ever, how old are you now, baby? She's 32. Don't you ever pull up at my driveway with anything on the other side of the car. This is my girl. This is my oldest daughter right here. She's 32. And boy, would she get in my grill. But we have hard conversation. But you have to set a standard with your daughter. I said, you cannot bring anybody to my house and they're on the passenger side. If they don't have a car, they can't park at my house. You women, let me tell you, put me back. Thank you, babe. Put me back up close. Because, see, let me tell you something. I come from alpha males. I'm an alpha male. Okay? I ain't scared. I got to pray for that one in the back, though. But good Lord. That one in the back, my grandson, that's an alpha male. Here's the thing. Women, sometimes y'all make men weak because you do everything for them. And that generally starts with his mama. His mama petting him when his dad is trying to prune him. And every dad should be in every child's life. And there's going to be a time that your children going to hate you. You may as well just get ready for it. And they're going to dislike you, and they don't agree with anything you did. And they're going to have a conflict with how you treat the grandchildren versus how you treated them, because when you had them, you didn't have time. You were trying to build something. That's the difference than building something with somebody in the street. You see what I'm saying? And then see, and let me make it plain. This is going to hurt. Tell somebody, this is going to hurt. Some of y'all women tried to henpeck your husband. And some of y'all men are henpecked. Pull the camera up. I back up everything I say. And you do a disservice to your family, because when you have an over-dominant mama, you're going to have an over-dominant daughter. And I have seen this, and I'm 60, will be 61 next year. Not next year, next month. Next month. When you have an over-dominant woman and you got a submissive man, all right, your house is out of order. Now, if he ain't smart enough to lead, then he ain't smart enough to have babies by. Yes, I said it. If he can't provide, he ain't nothing but a man in some britches. Y'all can argue with me all day, but it's in the Bible. As a man, you are supposed to be the head of the house. But here's the problem. Men want to be the head of the woman, but they don't want no head over them. And no woman should choose a man that does not have God as his head. And he need to have God as his head before he try to be the head of the house. Now, the head of the house don't mean you the boss of the house. Let me clear that up real quick. You need to know what fatherhood and what husband is. Some of y'all are great women, but y'all pick boys in men bodies. And if you're going to listen to me, and I have about 65% men following, I don't know why, but thank y'all for listening. I need you to be what you're supposed to be. If you are a father, you have a daughter, they may reject you, but don't ever reject your children. And don't take a woman and don't take a man that won't take your children. This thing about, well, you know, ain't nobody come from no perfect family. All you got to do is start digging up. Dig up in slavery and see what was going on. And it was going on before then. Go back to Africa and see what was going on. Mr. Tommy up the street, your daddy. So men have to be men. And here's the thing I say to men. How do you answer to God when you're supposed to be a covering? It's not the boss and, you know, a woman's supposed to be submissive to a man. I tell them, but y'all ain't read the whole Bible, because the Bible says, men, love your wives. And if he don't like his mama, he ain't going to treat you right. And before y'all pick the next man, make sure there is a mentor in the one's life. And if only mentor he or she has is the street, you might want to lead in where they at. Because street life ain't good when you get old. Fighting and cussing and shooting and knocking out windows and drive-by. No. A covering. You're supposed to be a provider, a protector. Here's what it says. And those that adopt. See, I try to say this to women. I try to say this to men. And women, sometimes you make a mistake of chasing a man rather than taking care of your home. And sometimes as a woman, you have to be the head of the home, because either there isn't a man present, and we thank God for you, but you have to not disband your children just to get a man. What was the lady's name? You're not Miss Magoo with a boot full of children? Whatever that little... Mother Goose. Yeah, you're not... See, I'm old. Mother Hubbard. You're not Mother Hubbard with a house full of children. If you got a house full of children, you're doing something wrong. Let me be plain. If you're good enough to sleep with, you ought to be good enough to marry. And let me be a real father to you. Raise your standards. Because what you need oftentimes is not what you're looking at. Know the difference between your wants and your needs. Seriously, a father, if you're a father, you're supposed to be in line with God. So there shouldn't be any arguing and bickering and cussing and fighting and throwing all that. Y'all, there's 2 pit bulls in the room. Because you need to say, first of all, it is my responsibility as the head of the house. And I don't have anything against an alpha female. I don't have anything, but an alpha female is not an alpha male. I want you to let her do it. I just want to know how you're going to answer to God for that. I just want to know how you're going to answer God. How you going to tell God when he inspired the book to be written? I ain't going to say nothing to it. Yeah, ain't nobody gonna go with me, but I'm gonna be all right. Maybe I hit you in the throat. Did I hit you in the throat right there? Did I hit it? Did I hit you right there? Did I hit you right there? Okay. And as a father, you got to understand they're going to be periods of your life and ain't nobody going to like you. Your wife ain't going to like you. Your girlfriend ain't going to like you. Your cousin, your sisters ain't going to like you. Your children ain't going to like you. But that's also a part of being a man. But you need to be more than just something in britches. You need to be more than a baby factory. If you have a child, and listen, no matter what anybody say, take it from an old dude. You need to be in your child's life, even if they don't want you there. It ain't about the mother. It ain't about the daddy. And you shouldn't take a man that will, now, but first of all, you got to be presentable and respectful. Now, you can't come up there looking any kind of way. I told my daughters, listen, y'all want welcome to come to my house, but can't none come to my house with his britches hanging down and looking crazy, because, listen, if he can't take care of himself, he can't take care of you. Do I need to say that again? And so y'all, some of y'all mamas are wrong. Yeah, he ain't got, what does he have? He ain't got nothing but a bag of clothes. And y'all need to ask for some resumes. How many jobs you've had? And how long you been on your job? Because I can't have no babies with no dummy. Oh, y'all married for love. I forgot. Lust and love. Oh, he's so cute. I was lonely, child. Oh, Lord, you know, Hercules, you know. Well, it ain't the first time. No, pick yourself up. This is a ministry that gets real with you. And so I know people get mad. And so as a father, you have to understand that sometime where you are, your children are not there. And so they're always your children. And I don't believe in picks and favorites. And the Bible is not for us to have picks and favorites. Because every time it did, it created wedges in the family. Wedges. Look at Joseph. Created wedges in the family. Look at Esau and Jacob. Wedges. As a parent, we need God to help us be able to love and treat our kids as equal. We shouldn't down one to praise the other one. Because see, some of y'all have these babies and they look like their daddies and y'all mad at the children. And so I revisited something with my son about hurt in the family. Because some of you as grandmothers can hurt your son's wife. And some of you as fathers can hurt your sons, your whatever one, vice versa. You can hurt whoever your child likes. You don't need that wedge. I'm a father that has made many mistakes. I have one of my children now who I love dearly, but you know, they don't understand why I did what I did. And I'm a very open person. I couldn't take them to a house or an apartment that I didn't have. So I had to drop them off at my sister's. I had to drop them off at a friend's. And I had to work because I went back. I mean, I had a conversation. I went back in my mind and I researched, and I don't ever remember forsaking any of my kids for anything other than work. And my problem is, one, I'm a workaholic. I'm a very strong alpha male, and I don't communicate very well sometimes. And that can hurt your children, boys and girls. And as grandparents, you can say things, and as parents, you can say things about your child's pick or like or at that moment in their life, and you can create a wedge that you can never get back. And I think most people are picky because they haven't prepared their sons and their daughters. God and education should be two things. I don't see that much success. And I love people in the streets because I was homeless with people in the street. That's why I don't laugh at people in the streets. But I also knew there was a time to get out. There's a time for men, and this is an old word, they used to hustle. Y'all remember that? He got a hustle, baby. I got a hustle, baby. You don't want nobody hustling. I need you to turn that into a business. I'm from the old school. I talk to young men all the time. And I said, so what would you do if your fiance quit work as your wife? Yeah, go back home to her mama. Then you ain't ready. Because see, here's what people want to do is they want to sit around and they want to use Jewish practices. But Jewish women didn't work. Sarah didn't work. That's why she was able to call Abraham Lord and was ready when he came home. You can't ask her to work and then be the girl on the pole. Her knees gonna be tired. She can't stand on her feet all day. Listen, if you ain't used to my ministry by now, you can just turn the channel. She can't work all day and help provide. And then be all you want while you sit there with a cup of tea watching TV and playing video games. I love my girls, but I would tell them, you can love him, but I want to know something, because when you get out my pocket, you get in his pocket, and when you get in his pocket, you'll never be back in my pocket. So you better pick your pocket well, because if he can't take care of you, what does that mean? That means that sometimes I didn't grow up in the video game area. They probably played it, but I had to work. I'm guilty of being a workaholic and a poor communicator. And I can own that with any of my children. I was 36 or 39 when I looked up and I said, I don't even have a car. I said, I don't even have a car. And I said, I got 3 children. What are they going to have? Now I think they want me to die. I really do. I think somebody said this morning, if he died, don't resuscitate him. Let him go. Let him go. I didn't like him no way. Before he died, where's the attorney? I know he got a truck. Where we got to get our part. Jesus do answer prayer. He gone. But here's some things, and then I'm gonna open up for questions. So we're gonna be a little bit live, because most, not all, most broken down people come from broken down homes. Something was out of balance. And I think as a father, if you really want to be a man, you have to go back and apologize to your kids. And here, let me give you one thing. Take my experience. Don't tell them they was wrong. That's a mistake I made. Because I had to learn I need to see it from how they see it. I need to see it how they see it. So then you need to apologize. You need to own it. And you need to say, how can we create a path forward? You cannot deal with the hand that's behind. Can't fix it. I can't fix the days that I was absent. And let me say this real plain. Money doesn't raise a child. And let me say from a father who has made many mistakes, it takes a relationship. Take authority out of it. It takes a relationship. So here's the definition of what they call an urban father. A male parent, one who loves, support, guides, inspire, and encourage his children. If you want to build a culture for your kids, you need to determine where you want your kids to be. If you want your kids to be street people, you want your kids to be whatever you want them to be, then that's what you feed their minds. If you're unhappy with your job, you're unhappy in your home, you're unhappy with your life, that's what you're feeding your kids. You can't change his or her DNA, but what you can be responsible for is developing a culture that they can seed at their highest capacity. Every kid doesn't have the same ceiling. And please don't make one of the mistakes I made. All your kids are different. They have different personalities. They have different needs. They are all different. Here's the thing I will say. As a father, you need to know when to stop petting them. Because mamas, some of y'all are sending out some weak boys because you don't never tell them the truth. Okay, don't fix it. And fathers, some of y'all are sending out some weak boys because you ain't done nothing for your life. You haven't done anything. It's more, and take it from someone who knows, it's more than putting bread on the table. I praise my son for what he did, and because he takes his daughter and they went and got ice cream. I don't remember taking either one of my girls to get ice cream. And it wasn't all work. Some of it was just stupid, and that was me. So it says the definition for fatherhood, Urban Dictionary, male parent, one who loves, supports, guides, inspires, encourages his children, man of strong character who teaches by example. Stepped up to the challenge of raising his children. Raising children is more than just sending money. And let me make this real plain. Child support is not enough money. And never reject the child that your son or daughter has birthed. I'm just giving y'all the truth. Y'all sit behind these sanctified clothes and hats and suits and all that crap. I'm just telling you because I had a brother I didn't know about till I was 19. And I grew up in apostolic Pentecostal holiness. Holiness people wasn't supposed to do stuff like that. But on one day, somebody wasn't that holy. Okay? Own up to it. That's what a man does. Own it. And be responsible. Not just giving a check. Because where I grew up and where I came from, when you came to the church, that was in the world, that was a sin. Listen, children are not sin. And some of y'all, church folks. I really want to tell y'all something, but I'm trying to hold my peace right now. Some of y'all church folks have ruined a lot of lives for your self-righteous judgmental. The Bible says ye that are spiritual, restore such a one. It ain't so much about what you done and what you didn't do. It's about where is the turning point in your life. And let me tell you one thing about church folk. You don't need to know everybody's business. You don't need to know everybody, well, who they daddy, who they mama, because that's the era I come up in. You don't need to know all that because we need to ask who's your real daddy. Real daddy, not your play daddy, the one at the house. Yes, this is a real conversation with me. This is what you get on Father's Day. Next time y'all get a preacher. Here it says a protector, a provider, a lover, and a strong foundation. And some of you women need to protect. If he can't protect you, I think the great Shaquille O'Neal said something about his wife, his former wife, who just got married. He said it was my fault because I didn't protect her. See, some of y'all are alpha females, and there's nothing wrong with that. But who wants their alpha female stretched up with people that ain't worth fighting? You too precious to be out there cussing somebody out at the car. And both of y'all married, both of y'all hooked up with a sorry daddy. And if he don't have enough for you, then don't have his child, because if he can't take care of what he got across the street. And he don't spend no time with them. Then he don't need to spend no time with you. And if he can't accept your children, then he ain't gonna be no good husband. That don't mean other people got to come in your house, because I know about that too. But if you can't take your Bilo clothes now, if you can't take your child to the Bilo parking lot, and he don't want to spend no time with that child, you might better think before you have that baby. See, I'm one of these people that's real, because I remember picking up my daughter at the Bilo parking lot. I remember picking up my kids at the Bilo parking lot. So what my kids sometimes don't remember is I had a 1987 two-door Honda Accord. And their daddy was so poor, I had to break the window to get my keys out of the car because I couldn't afford a locksmith. And they laughed because we had tape on the window. So don't tell me, don't think I made it. I ain't made nothing. But that's what you have to do. And I tell people this, don't let a man grow up on you. Don't let him mistreat you. Get used to the lies. You so sweet, girl. You so fine. Woo. He done said that to everybody. Yeah, ain't nobody want to say nothing to me right now, but it's all right. I'm going to get this over with, and I'm going to get it out. It says, a protector, a provider, a lover, a strong foundation, the importance of a father in a home. 43% of children are more likely to make A's in school, 33% less likely to repeat the same grade, 60% less likely to be suspended or expelled from school, 75% less likely to have teen birth, 80% less likely to spend time in jail, 50% experience multiple depression symptoms. Fatherhood project. When dads are involved at school, either through engagement with students in the classroom or interacting with teachers, faculty, or other parents, their children learn more and perform better in school, exhibited healthier behavior, and are more likely to participate in extracurricular activities, have fewer discipline problems, overall enjoy school. This is from Michigan.gov. Early positive father involvements lead. And the reason I'm reading this is that there are some women that's looking for love and they want a good man, but I want to teach you, make sure he qualifies to be a good husband. And he has to be a provider, which means he may have to work 3 jobs. Now we're going to open this up. Ask me why. Do you not read your Bible? Leah was ugly. Yes, she was, daughter. The Bible says she wasn't pleasant to look upon. Rachel must have been fine. Do you not know that is a principle to us? And I know they had multiple wives, but we can't do that now, so don't y'all ask for that. Okay? I say, now you better be glad your wife ain't here, because she probably hit you in the lip. She said that. He said, yeah, I know, man. You know, but Jacob loved Rachel so much. Because, back then, y'all didn't get that exposed, and everything was covered up. He worked an additional 7 years to get her. If these people, I almost used the word, won't work for you, then they won't work with you. He worked, because he didn't know the rules. He worked for their father, and he said, when I finish, and he said, you got to work for me 7 years, and you can have my daughter. And he didn't know that the first one had to go first. So he got Leah. But Leah must have had something. They had 10 babies. She might have been ugly, but he didn't leave her out there. So then he worked 14 years to get one woman. Never slept with her. Didn't see her dancing. Never could see any portion of her body. Now this gonna hurt. Why y'all out there with your butts out? Yeah, that's somebody telling me, did he really say that? Let me spin around on that one. If Jacob worked 14 years for one woman, he didn't see nothing she had. Because y'all must understand about the Africans and the Arabs and the Muslims, all you can see were their eyes. Everything was covered up. He works 14 years. Why y'all out there with your butts out? Why? Why are you trying to show a man everything you got? Then let me tell you what you get. You get nothing but the man. You don't get a husband. Because a husband want whatever his is covered and protected. He don't want his boom boom out there. Let me make it plain. I'm a pastor. He don't want his boom boom out there. He don't want everybody to see his milk duds. So why y'all out there like that? That's why y'all get them boys and don't get no husband. Carry yourself with character. And yes, you're going to get a lot of no's, but when you get that one yes, you got something for life. And it's more about your character and the beauty of your spirit. So let me help y'all out. Stop competing with them people. You have one spirit on earth. Don't take your gift and compete with people who are not in your class. You're valuable. If a man won't work for you, I'm talking about, and want to be a husband because he will provide. See, they like your body, but they don't like your spirit. That's the difference in looking for a wife and just on the hunt. Y'all need to have a real conversation with me offline about, I can tell you about those. I can tell you about Jody. Let me hip you to some stuff. But it says early positive involvement, spending time together, leads to greater academic success. Lending emotional support leads to more positive social behavior. And a lot of these I failed as a father, and I'm trying to help you guys as a father. So if you're offended, I'm not offended. Because here's what I tell you. I'm just telling you the truth. I didn't ask you to like it. I didn't ask you to chime in. I'm trying to help you not make the mistakes I have made as a man and as a father. So I can't fix what happened. But what I can try to do is move the dial forward. That's why I said create a path forward. Giving everyday assistance leads to fewer conduct problems. Monitoring children's behavior leads to better self-esteem, and it goes on and on. Let me ask you a question. Anybody got any questions for me? We got a few minutes. Nobody want to ask me that now? Why? Why? And fathers, you should teach your men, your grown, how to be men. We need to quit picking in the flesh and start trying to measure up to the spirit. Don't marry a person based on potential. Where is his or her foundation to build something? What does that mean? Don't hook up with somebody talking about they going to school. Get with somebody that's in school and planning to finish school. Because people would do a lot of things to get you, and then when you get them, they don't keep up any of them. Now let me leave this last part with you. Proverbs 13:22. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, but a sin of wealth is stored up for the righteous. Here's two things to take out of that. You have an innate ability and an innate inheritance. So there's something in the natural you should be building, whether it's a skill, certification to increase. Then you have a spiritual birthright. So other people may have gotten it wrong and took some things. You have a chance to have it both right naturally and spiritually. And every father, it doesn't matter where your sons are, where your daughters are, we have listen, if I'm going to go to hell, it ain't going to be for being in the church. I got to go do something. Let me tell you something. Every father should have more than an insurance policy. And women, if he don't have an insurance policy for himself, why are you talking to him? He's not established. He's not established. If he don't have a house, how can he provide? You're looking for a roommate. You need to make up your mind, you want a husband or a roommate. If he's going to be a husband, he needs to acquire things. And women need to quit telling me, because I always say this, if women raise their standard, men got to raise theirs. But if women lower their standards, then men don't have to have standards. because you are the ultimate prize. And quit trying to compete with some other person. I almost said a word. Be the best you can be. And what you with may not be the best for you. And you're going to have to accept that. You're going to have to move up. Someone called me a couple weeks ago, and I would be finished, but this is what God is sharing me to share with you. And they said, you know, somebody asked them to get engaged. Now, this is me talking now. I believe they already married. And I said, well, good for you. And they said, yeah, things been going real good. And I said, okay. And they said, but he don't like to go to church. I said, well, now how that's going to work? I said, because you know you need to stay close to God, because you're crazy. Okay, you already crazy, and you out of the will of God, and you going to go marry someone who don't even want you to go to church. They want to occupy all your time. True story. I said, didn't we pray for you to get out the last mess you was in? Because you had the house, you had the cars, and you married somebody and brought somebody into your house. They drove your cars. They didn't want to go to church. They played church, jumped in the pool, got baptized, spoke in tongues. And 4 days after you guys got married, they quit going to church. And it took you 10 plus years to get rid of them. I said, am I right or wrong? Then you had to pray, throw all their clothes in the front room and just live like a slob to get rid of them. And now you about to go get with another who wants your body but don't want your God. Now they're trying to tell you to sell your house. So now they have total control over you. I said, I'm going to say this to you. Does this person draw you closer to God, or do they take you away from God? That's how you need to make your decision. Because men can love your flesh, but don't want to marry your spirit. That's the nature of a man. If they can't embrace your God, and I'm not talking about just go to church, well, you know, she want me to go. He needs to be, because what he's saying is, he's a wild ass. So he can spark your flesh, but he's a wild ass. It's in the Bible. I'm not offended by it. Look it up. And so what he's going to do is drag you all the way through the wilderness, and you may not get back to God. And if you get back to God, you won't be in the same shape as you were when you left God. This men or women, because women will take men. I can't go to church, man. She want me to be with her all the time. Because I know I'm crazy. I need to be in church. I know I need help. Oh, I don't even like me. I need Jesus. Y'all sit up here and laugh. You can laugh. I'm just being real with you because I have been done. But God's like, nope, you need to finish telling them. So I'm telling you, you can't do that. I'm not trying to save your life. I'm trying to save your spirit. Because some of y'all know how crazy y'all are out without God. So you're going to hook up with another crazy person. You're going to sell all your stuff, and you're going to go out there in the wilderness with them, and you think you're going to live in peace. You need to ask me about leaving God for people. Come talk to me. I'll give you a true story, my own, how I left God to try to be with other people and do all this. And then when God put the brakes on you, you still got the skid marks on you. So I'm just trying to keep you from a cliff that I jumped off of, and I'm just one of the few that God said, I'm going to let you crawl back up the hill to be a testimony, because you wore fool shoes for a long time. I'm not telling you something written. This is nicely written. So when I turned 36 to 27, I had to grow up. But before I had to grow up, I had to be real with myself. And I knew I could not get myself back together without God. And I cannot be what I was supposed to be without God. You can have things in the natural, but not be balanced in the spirit. And you need to be balanced in the spirit and the natural. So you're going to need re-education, re-certified. You need to get yourself together, rebuild your credit, get your own. And if they don't have their own, then they're not ready for you. Can I break that down? I've had friends, women, to get married. And he didn't have that. Oh, you can live with me. You can live with me. Come on, live with me. There's a friend of mine in Lyman. She married a guy, and she had called me, and I said, oh, okay, well, God bless you. And he never lived in the house. Not one day. They got married, had this big family wedding, big fancy wedding. But he had one piece of mail to come there. And it had the address on it. Now, mind you, her first husband committed suicide in the backyard. So the house was paid for, and she was okay, and she was raising her daughter in the last years. And so this guy comes out of the blue. He's everything she wants. And she marries him. We were old church kids together. And you know he didn't spend one night in that house. And after the court had filed the papers, 2 months later, she couldn't find him. She got a letter from a lawyer saying he wanted a divorce and he wanted 50% of the house, the equity in the house. And you know what she had to do? She had to get a second mortgage to give him $50,000 of what she had received from the death of her husband. And you know what he did? Went 3 blocks and opened up a building with the money he got from her. I told her I'd have burnt this building down. I'd have sent one-eyed Willie over there and struck a match and burnt this building down. I'm saying to you, without God, we don't make good decisions. God bless you. I'll see you soon. Oh yeah, go get your pig foot.